The fourth season of You seemingly has an over-the-top depiction of the ultra-rich. The wealthy are presented as vapid, egotistical, and downright cruel. While watching the show, the portrayal of the 1% seemed more like a caricature of the ultra-wealthy rather than a reflection of reality. I struggled with the first half of Season 4 because of this exaggerated depiction. After watching the second half of Season 4, however, my perception of these characters changed, and it all comes down to the show's protagonist, Joe Goldberg. The show is presented to us primarily through Joe's eyes. This is the lens through which I think we should interpret the show. The first-person narrative gives the creator a lot of free rein in world building. In stories that are entirely based on one character's perspective, we see the world as the character sees it. While watching a story told in the first person, however, we don't often stop and think about the skewed perception that we're presented with. A person's interpretation of events can change the narrative, and the same two events can appear radically different when told from the point of view of two different people. A great example of this can be seen in the show How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother often uses the tool of shifting perspectives to tell the same story multiple times, viewed through different lenses. This is an excellent source for comedy and allows the viewer to appreciate each character's world while questioning reality. You follows Joe Goldberg, a humble bookstore employee and charming serial killer from New York City. Joe was raised in poverty by a single mother. When he's a young boy, his mother puts him in foster care. As a teenager, Joe is taken in by a bookstore owner who uses extreme tactics in teaching Joe how to have a work ethic. Joe learns how to make a modest living working as a manager of the bookstore. From the beginning, we can see that Joe is hypercritical of those around him. He judges people's tastes in books, music, and hobbies. From his narration, we can glean that he sees himself as superior to others. At the same time, there appears to be an inferiority complex, particularly when it comes to the rich. The confrontation between the classes is depicted in all 4 seasons of You. While previous seasons criticized the wealthy lifestyle, Season 4 dials up that depiction to 11. In one scene, one of the privileged characters makes an employee bend over and serve as a hoop in a game. This is an incredibly demeaning tactic. But is any of it real? In episode 7, Joe discovers that he is the serial killer and he has created an alter ego in Reese. Joe imagined all the scenes where he's talking to Reese. He also blocked out memories of capturing Marianne and all of his murders as the Eat the Rich killer. This is a lot of missing memories. There is one episode where we actually see the story from Marianne's perspective, and in this episode, we get to look at Joe through another character's eyes. Joe's shattered reality becomes apparent. If he could picture himself talking to an imaginary person and block memories from his mind, he could just as easily present characters only as he sees them. Did the wealthy characters say and do the things that we saw? After I started to interpret the show through this lens, the show went from trite to brilliant. The characters weren't just annoying archetypes with exaggerated features of greed, but rather an embellishment in Joe's mind. In his eyes, of course he would be the hero of his story. Just look at all the monsters around him. He's the good guy here. He might not see the moments of kindness, the vulnerable or generous moments, because that will go against his vendetta. He has to justify his actions, even on a subconscious level. How can we believe anything that he shows us? If we show these characters from another person's perspective, would they look the same?